Hey, what's up guys, how you doing? This is Eric here for Fasted Human. So I'm stepping out from my comfort zone from normally be in my house, but I decided to step out and actually take advantage of the time. I know it was supposed to be in at 12:30 p.m. Actually it was 12 p.m. I had to move it to 12:30, and now we're like because of the distance of where I was and where I was, well, it didn't happen that way. So I'm gonna work with what I have right now as far as the podcast. I talked about yesterday different things, and so for anyone who is jumping into the podcast right now, just wanted to remind you that if you are listening to the previous podcast from yesterday, we have talked about the schedule in regards to intermittent fasting and fasting. So I'm gonna see. So I'm back. So for anyone who is checking out these live broadcasts and talking about the dark side of fasting, and for anyone who is starting like intermittent fasting or doing any particular fasting protocols or anything like that, thank you for joining the live broadcast. For anyone watching right now, so I want to cheers up. Having a black coffee right now, a Nitro cold brew black coffee here at Starbucks. So just want to recommend that in regards to what you're doing as far as your particular goals and particular things that you're doing, my suggestion is that it's all about self-efficiency. So if you if you are interested in knowing more about intermittent fasting, I have a couple of books, I have the group, I have all these things to get you started to start having a healthy lifestyle. Now when it comes down to the dark side of fasting and why am I talking about this, is because it can have a repercussion if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Now I have done every single little research that can have possibly done as far as doing my own thing as far as intermittent fasting, but at the same time when it comes down to extended fasting, and this is one of the things that it taps out, the prolonged fasting, for anyone who is been thinking about actually doing the standard fasting portion of it, right? And so for anyone who normally is brand new, it kind of sometimes it can be a little bit detrimental on the actual process to it. And for those that especially for those that are going through changes in their lives, like if you're pregnant, if you are going through you're a teenager and you're kind of sort of going through the process of being and going through this process of growth, I would say not recommend necessarily to start doing intermittent fasting for children, obviously. So for anyone who is absolutely 100% sure there's something that you want to do, it's always to consult your doctor if you have any medical problems or anything that you're having have to deal with medication and stuff like that. Once again, like I said before, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. One of the things that I definitely do is, I had done my own personal journey as far as doing it on my own, and so and listening to other podcasters, listening to doctors, listening to the actual part of actually getting to know all this process and kind of doing my own little thing. So for those that are part of a particular groups or particular different things that you can possibly actually do, my suggestion for you will be just going through this process as you're going to take advantage of the benefits of it. But the part of the dark side of what I saw, or the bad thing about fasting, will be if you're prolonging your fast and not having a control of your signals. So if you're listening to your body and knowing that if you're not listening to your body, particularly when it comes down to not so sure what you're doing and not so sure if you should be fasting for 16 hours, that's the easiest way to actually start your protocol. But when it comes down to, for example, working towards the particular benefits and the particular things that you're gonna get out of it, you gotta take baby steps. Because one of the things I tell a lot of people, maybe you're not ready for 16 hours of for intermittent fasting, right? You're not ready for doing so. Maybe just 12 hours, 12 hours, if it is taking a toll on your body, or taking a toll on your as far as just kind of sort of like changing that whole habit or routine that you've been having for the past maybe since it's maybe 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, so on and so forth. One thing for sure that I know when it comes down to particular protocols and particular things is that it takes time. Now these particular time frame that you're actually utilizing to get where you want to be, or actually be trying to get in a healthy lifestyle and function towards towards whatever issues that you have, and dealing with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension. So to me is that there's going to be a downside from doing intermittent fasting, a downside from exercising, a downside for the nutrition intake. And so when it comes down to all the specific things, so you have taken into consideration your sleep is key. And I think I have said this now, and I'm going to say this right now again and again and again. You have to have a specific amount of sleep that is recommended, between 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's proven that it has made a huge difference, a huge change when it comes down to recovery, and when it comes down to energy, when it comes down to your longevity. The sleep patterns are important and necessary. So that's one of the things that I was talking about when it comes down to focus on getting a healthy lifestyle. I know a lot of people come to me and say like, yo, Eric, I want to start working out. I want to get it, want to start pushing myself to get in the workout. Perfect, do so. But you have to still, when it comes down to exercise, you got to listen to your body. When it comes down to all those specifics that you put together, when it comes down to getting the results that you want, it all comes down to being more self-efficient. And this is one of the things I tell a lot of people is like, you don't know where you're gonna get until you hit that wall. And that wall sometimes is your your exercise, your nutrition, your sleep patterns. So once you start not seeing the results and you go back to gaining weight and getting to these patterns of just feeling lethargic, tired on some basis, so it's going to have these different preventing you from getting the most out of your protocols and depending on your schedule. So I know for a fact that a lot of people has asked me these questions before. It's like, when do I start seeing these results? You're going to start seeing the results after 30 days. 30 days is the max for people that are looking forward to get the most out of these protocols, or get the most out of their schedules, and get more out of their exercise programs. Like I said before, and somebody asked this question yesterday, is when should I fast? Actually, this question was today. Why would I fast? Why would I fast? Well, if you have noticed, listening and looking at your body, seeing, okay, I feel lethargic, I feel tired, I feel this, you got a bunch of feelings that is just not occurring to your body, it's not feeling your best, then you have to make those changes that are necessary for growth. And so, why should I fast? And so this question came today, this morning, because I did a post of a previous post that I did last year in regards to fasting. So you have to understand that this particular process is something that sometimes it can be detrimental for so many people to kind of change. And so it's something that one of the things that I do is I need you to do your homework in regards of be able to understand this process. And that's one of the things that I say, and I will say this right now, is like you want to be in charge, right? So in order to be in charge, you need to recognize that there's pros and cons on doing something, and that's doing something in regards of like your energy, and in regards to your vitality, in regards of your well-being. At the end of the day, you want to be in charge of that. So let's talk about a few things. I'm gonna bring out my tablet, and so I'm gonna talk about the dangers of so.
Have you guys ever eaten at the Cuban restaurant
So let me 1 second. So let me 1 second, guys. So I'm gonna pull out some information that I just have here for you guys. Sorry for the background noise. I'm outdoors, and so it's gonna be posted on the podcast anyway. So you know, just want to be sure. There's a great documentary right now on Netflix that you definitely want to recommend in regards of, and so for anyone who has Netflix, I will recommend it. There's a lot of pros and cons in regards of these particular protocols and particular following these. Once again, this is not once again, I want to say this one more time. Fasting is not a diet. It's a protocol. It's a tool that you utilize in a single daily basis. So I have a few things in here from PubMed and so on that I wanted to share with you. Mainly when you do a water fasting, and this is what is salt fasting, especially when you're drinking black coffee or green tea, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to have a perspective of the importance of the hydration part of it. You're not doing a dry fast, you're not doing a completely dry fast. So what I call dry fast is when if you follow a religious, like Muslim or a Catholic or Christian belief, they tend to do a dry fast. What we do here is a salt fast, which is salt fast is something that I have to do with water, black coffee, water, green tea, mineral water, no sugars whatsoever for the first 8 hours of the day. So water fasting benefits and dangers. I'm going to talk about the dangers because I talk about the positive things about fasting yesterday. So today we're going to talk about the dangers of it. And so give me 1 second, guys. Cheers. So, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pull up back again. All right. So, let me summarize this. Okay. So let's talk about the dangers and risks. And so let's just go on to it because I think that it will be perfect for some of you guys. Number one thing in regards of dangers, it will be may lose of the wrong type of weight, and because of water fast restricts the calories, you will lose a lot of weight quickly. In fact, research shows that you may lose up to 2 pounds, up to 2 pounds each day within 24 to 72 hours of water fast. This is normally I do once a month. Now, the reasons why I do once a month is for longevity factors. It's not for losing weight factor. I know I have lost a specific amount of weight, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get the most out of it is the fact that I can be able to control this, but it takes time to actually do a 24-hour to 72-hour fast. Now, 3-day fasting is not something for everyone, but it's something that I have been able to do this in a long-term process since 2017. This is not something I have done and something I haven't done or practiced way before 2017. We're in 2020. I have a 3 years experience of being doing this at least once a month, and so it took me from 24 hours to 40 hours for 36 hours, and so I have been able to maintain this kind of routine in the past 3 years. So maybe become dehydrated. One of the things that I tell a lot of people is when it comes down to do prolonged fasting or fasting, you might get dehydrated because you're gonna take a lot of electrolytes out of your body. So having a 1 teaspoon of salt in your water within a gallon of water will be one of the best things you can actually do that is going to be able to have and help you out on the long term as far as when you're fasting or you're brand new to fasting. The experience are orthostatic hypotension. Now, I'm going to kind of break it down because it's not sciencey myself. I'm not very sciencey about it. But orthostatic hypotension is common among people who water fast. It defines as a drop of blood pressure. It happens when you suddenly stand up, and it can leave you dizzy, lightheaded, and risks of fainting. This has happened to me previously when I had done 72-hour fast, and I have gone really hard with the workout, and I try to what I'm trying to do on a 72-hour fast is to limit my workouts to only about 30 minutes instead of being a prolonged workout than an hour. Sudden movement, very quick movements, kind of sort of like going a stand on the workouts, try to minimize it to 25 to 30 minutes workouts, especially strength training. I do strength training. Water fasting may worsen several medical conditions. Now, this is something I always recommend. Water fasting may worsen several medical conditions. Now, this is something you definitely want to talk to your doctor if you take medications, specific medications like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. If you're taking, all these type of things that you might have, you definitely want to consult your doctor before you do stuff like this. Now, this is one of few things that it comes down to the dangers of fasting and the dangers of the dark side of fasting. And so the reason why I say this is because, at the end of the day, more than anything, when I said to a lot of people is, you have to be able to take baby steps towards that. Not everyone is going to go the same pace as you. This is the same things with workouts, this is the same thing with nutrition, this is the same things with anything that you want to do and applying it to yourself, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to these things, there's a dark side to it. There's a positive things to it, and there's the negative sides to it. There's the pros and cons to it. So my thing to you is, bottom line to me, and one of the things I'm going to explain to you when I finish this podcast is that that at the end of the day, it all comes down to your health, to your well-being, and so just like exercise, there's gonna be a downside to training. But if you haven't trained in a long time, there's no overtraining for you. If you haven't worked out in a long time, there's no overtraining for you. One of the things that I discovered about going really hard on the workouts, I don't know what it's like to do 5 sets of heavier squats or 5 sets of lunges, 5 sets of everything. What you're seeing on the stories and what you're seeing, it's just the last set of my workout. The last set of my workout is the one that counts the most for me, because I know for a fact it is tough, it is hard, it is not easy, and it's going to be freaking intense. So for me, the last set counts, the last reps counts. And so I'm going to show you that part of it that normally you don't get to see as far as workouts it is. You'll be seeing most of it in my stories, or a little bit of on the reels. And so just giving you a little bit of what goes on that particular things. are necessary to be able to just kind of give you an insight of what it's like training on a faster workout or faster training or faster cardio. So at the end of the day, the most important thing is just that you be able to have a pattern, a schedule, and whatever it is that you're trying to do is going to make you get you to the next level all the time. So with that said, guys, my apologies to everyone who was waiting at 12 o'clock. It didn't happen the way I wanted to. I had it running an inconvenience right now, but as a father, as a husband, as a friend, I had to run and to be able to do the things I need to do. So I got to encounter a situation. So I just wanted to clarify once again. This was, I'm gonna give you the link. If you're looking at YouTube, you'll be able to see it on YouTube. You'll be able to see this on the podcast. The podcast available today. I'm gonna translate this on the audio, so you'll be able to see a little bit more. But this one right here from Healthline, the Healthline, I have this. I'm talking about just few specific things of the dangers of fasting, but other than that, and what the potentials are, there's a pros and cons, but I'm talking about the dark side of fasting, and hopefully you guys be able to get the most out of it. Hopefully my audio is not as interrupted as it is right now. I wish I had to be able to encounter a better place than where I am right now. So hopefully you guys like this live IGTV. My apologies once again. I was supposed to be at 12 o'clock, but then run out with inconvenience on location, and I was not prepared for that. I think I could have been it of that. So just remember, guys, that there's pros and cons on doing something, and there's the dangers of doing something. Yeah, but you will not be able to tap human potential if you don't try. You don't know how far can you go, and how much can you go until you try, until you be able to do it. So my suggestion to you guys is stay fasting, drink your black coffee, stay hydrated, and continue moving forward. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.